We are coming up on 1 minute to the 5-minute mark. Heat 4B is going to feature the Miss Homestreet, Dylan Runny, the Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly, the Flavor Pack, Dustin Eccles, and the Beast Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway with Gunnar O'Farrell. Inside 1 minute to the 5-minute mark. We'll give a countdown to 5 minutes at about the 6-second mark. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. You heard the countdown there. We are inside 5 minutes to the start of our Heat 4B. Heat 4B, let's run down the boats that are going to be on the water and competing. They are coming away from the dock now. The U1, the Miss Homestreet, the powder blue and white Miss Homestreet with rookie Dylan Runny behind the wheel. Then it's the bright red Beacon Electric, the U8 with J. Michael Kelly. Dustin Eccles will pilot the blue and yellow Flavor Pack. That is the U40. Then the predominantly white trimmed in persimmon is the Beast Unleashed. Presents Miss Thriftway with Gunnar O'Farrell. 1, 2, 3, 4 boats are supposed to come in this one. We've got 4 on the water. We are 4 minutes away from the start of our Heat 4B. And Seafair reminds you that for your own safety and the safety of those around you, everyone must be out of the water when the hydros are on the Ted Jones Racecourse. Now it's time to get out of the water and enjoy the world's fastest race boats, the H1. Unlimited hydroplanes, John Walters, 3 minutes and 40 seconds to the start. What have I missed? Looks like everybody came out of the pit area and is going up the backstretch. Nobody's made a move across the course just yet.
They are indeed. Everybody came out of the pits, went around the first turn there and are in fact going up the back straightaway. Kind of at a cruising speed here right now, trying to figure out where they want to be and what everybody else wants to be. I ran upstairs there real quick trying to get lap times on that last exciting heat, and H1 is doing such a good job of running these heats, and Seafair is doing such a good job of keeping the action going. The scoring department upstairs can't print them out as fast as they're laying them down, so we'll go back afterwards and we'll do some comparisons then.
We'll take that as a good thing. It was pointed out to me just as we approached the 5-minute mark here that there is a little bit of a breeze blowing up the racecourse, and I know you know about this Genesee Tunnel down here.
Yes.
And that wind comes down there, comes across the race course. What are these drivers thinking about that? Is there enough wind right now to get their attention?
There absolutely is. In fact, we saw it in the last heat. You saw Andrew coming down here picking up that right side, and the wind is blowing right in his face at that point. And it kind of comes across through the little gap in the hills right there, right through the pit area. And right here at the start-finish line is where it seems to be the worst. You can see the flags on the boats out here, blowing pretty good as the air is moving across the water. You're starting to get a little chop on top of the ripples and things on top of the chop and the rollers that are out there. So it's starting to look more and more like the Ted Jones Racecourse, lumpy and bumpy.
Lumpy and bumpy sounds like a couple of guys. All right, we're coming up on 2 minutes. 2 minutes to the start of our Heat 4B at the 2023 Homestreet Bank Cup and APBA Gold Cup race here on Lake Washington. So far, everybody's been very well behaved. J. Michael Kelly came out of the pit area, stuffed himself in lane number 1, and he's been there ever since. Nobody's made a move. And I honestly, John Walters at 145 at the top end of the race course, I don't think we're going to see anybody make a move.
I don't think so either. I think they've pretty well established where they wants to be. J. Michael thinks he needs to be on the inside lane here in order to win this thing. I think Dustin out there in lane 3 thinks he's got enough top end to get to the first turn first and be able to control that turn when he gets there. with Gunner out here on the outside, he's not going to be able to get there in time to mix it up being on the outside lane. So I think it's going to be a real tough one. Dylan's obviously got his work cut out for him here as he's cruising up there in between, trying to make enough room for himself, get there quick enough, and they're just about right on time. We want to be at about the apex when the 1 minute gun goes off, and they're right there.
They're right where they want to be. Gunner is a little bit early, but he will be way on the outside. He can scruff off time as he goes up the back chute. Once again, the U1, the Miss Homestreet, the U8, the Beacon Electric, the Flavor Pack, U40, and the 60. Beast Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway, Runny, Kelly, Eccles, O'Farrell. Up the backstretch, J. Michael Kelly sitting in lane number 1. Dylan Runny, the rookie out of Rumson, New Jersey, sitting in lane number 2. Then it is Dustin Eccles in the yellow and blue Flavor Pack. Coming up on 25 seconds. I like where they are in the race course. An unofficial mark I have is about 20 seconds at that entrance pin. They got there right at 20. Now the boats have fanned out. There's a lot of lane space between them. Gunnar O'Farrell's going to be on the far outside. It's going to be Dylan Runny in lane number 2. Kelly's going to be in 1. Runny's in 2. Going to be Dustin Eccles on lane 3. The outside. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1. Mark. It appears to be clean from here. And John Walters, you wanted to get Dustin Eccles down to the lower corner first. I think he got down there first. It is a legal start. Can he get the boat around the corner? J. Michael Kelly on the inside's got the lead coming off the pin, but he has got company with him. Runny's with him, and so is Dustin Eccles. We've got 3 boats sharing the same rooster tail, John.
Yeah, they look really good, and it's hard to tell one from the other right now. Thank goodness for those drones up there. We can actually see what's going on. But J. Michael's leading everybody down the back straightaway. He's running downwind right now, and by the time you get to the apex, you're going to see these guys getting on the foot pedals, trying to calm them down. Dustin's coming up hard on the outside, and when they come down the straightaway, they're going to have a pretty good breeze right in their face. These guys are going to be driving these boats with their feet, and their feet are on those wings.
Oh, boy. Dustin Eccles hung the 40 for a long time. You mentioned the wind, John. Sorry to trample you, but I know you weren't looking at him, and he was just hanging it there on the front chute. Kelly down to the lower end of the race course, lap number 2. And Runny's going to come off. He's given ground on the outside. And boy, that we saw what happened there when he had to pull your foot. I'm sorry there a little bit, but Dustin Eccles having to pull his foot, that cost him a second place position. And now it is Dylan Runny trying to run down J. Michael Kelly on the outside.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And Justin is trying to make up ground here on that top end, and unfortunately he can't use the top end right now, especially coming down this straightaway with this wind in his face. And like I mentioned earlier there, when they got themselves in trouble, these guys are going to be driving the boats down this front straightaway with the front wing, and their feet are doing that. So they're hanging on to the steering wheel, and Dustin's coming off hard about halfway down, just about to the start-finish line here. He's got so much ground to make up, I don't think there's a chance that he can catch up with the boys.
Now it's interesting now to see if Dylan Runny can make up ground on J. Michael Kelly. Kelly's going to come off the turn with the lead. He's got about 5-6 boat lengths. I'm not sure Dylan Runny can run him down. I know J. Michael Kelly's looking in that right side rear view mirror. He's got radio guys in his ears telling him right where Dylan Runny is, and it is almost a full rooster tail for JMK, but Runny doesn't want to go away, and he's willing to take a shot at J. Michael Kelly on this, the third of 3 times around the race course. Kelly took a hop up there at the top end of the race course, but he's able to settle it down, come off the pin clean. The checkered flag flies. J. Michael Kelly, driving a Beacon Electric, is going to come down and pick up an apparent 400 first place points. Good run for Dylan Runny in the U1, the Miss Homestreet. He will come across in second place, looking for Dustin Eccles. Here he comes. He will come down and pick up third place points in the Flavor Pack, the U40. And then it will be Gunnar O'Farrell coming by in fourth place, driving the U60. The Beast Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway. John, we had a conversation in the last heat about, I was asking you about Andrew Tate when he hung the 91 for quite some time, and the fact that he was able to feather it and bring it back down without giving up a whole lot of momentum and having to pull his foot too far out of it. We saw something different there. First of all, Dustin held it up there for a whole lot longer, but he did have to come off the throttle, and when he got it back down, it cost him his position on the race course. The others were gone.
It absolutely does. That can be a showstopper when you end up having to come out of the throttle like that. It may be a half a second, maybe even a whole second, but in that second, that boat out ahead of you is picking up big ground. I mean, these boats are moving 300 feet per second at the kinds of speeds that they're running here. So you come off the throttle for just a little bit, that turbine takes a little while to get spooled back up and get rolling again, and you lose some time, you lose a lot of ground. And in this short distances that you have to make it up here with this 2-mile race course, short straightaways, big wide turns, there just isn't enough time left.
So I can only imagine that, my heart got into my throat watching Dustin Eccles fly coming down the front straightaway. I can only imagine the team down there with what they have been through with that boat and the amount of work and the amount of times they have had to rebuild various portions of that boat. They just don't want to go down that road again. I'm sure their hearts were in their throat, but he was able to get it back 300 points, third place finish, 225 points. I think that will secure their position certainly in the final heat, and that's when the big trophy's on the line.
Yep.